This is Seeking the Word. In this episode, the reading is from Genesis chapter 6, verses 9 through 22. This is episode 7, part 1 of 4 of the flood narrative. The intent is to read the text carefully and attentively in order to understand what's present in the passage itself, without teaching or preaching. This is the history of the generations of Noah. Noah was a righteous man, blameless in his generation. Noah walked with God. Noah became the father of 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. God saw the earth and saw that it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. God said to Noah, "The end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. Behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. You shall make rooms in the ark, and shall seal it inside and outside with pitch. This is how you shall make it. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, its width 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. You shall make a roof in the ark, and you shall finish it to a cubit upward. You shall set the door of the ark in its side. You shall make it with lower, second, and third levels. I, even I, do bring the flood of waters on this earth to destroy all flesh in which is the breath of life from under heaven. Everything that is the earth will die. But I will establish my covenant with you. You shall come into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. Of every living thing of all flesh, you shall bring 2 of every sort into the ark, to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female. Of the birds after their kind, and of the livestock after their kind, and of every creeping thing on the ground after its kind, 2 of every sort shall come to you, to keep them alive. Take with you some of all food that is eaten, and gather it to yourself. It will be for food, for you and them. Noah did this according to all that God commanded him, so he did. The passage begins with the generational heading. This is the history of the generations of Noah, connecting it structurally to earlier genealogical sections in Genesis. Noah is described with 3 statements. He was righteous, blameless in his generation, and he walked with God. The condition of the earth is described using repeated language. The earth is corrupt, it is filled with violence. All flesh has corrupted their way. God sees the corruption before speaking. God declares the end of all flesh and states his intention to destroy both them and the earth. Detailed construction instructions follow. The ark's materials, dimensions, internal structure, and ceiling are specified. The command includes provisions for Noah's family, animals after their kind, and food storage. The word covenant appears for the first time in the narrative, though it is not yet defined. The passage ends with a concise summary statement. Noah did this, according to all that God commanded him, so he did. No internal dialogue from Noah is recorded, no hesitation or objection is stated. Alright, so here's where my head goes with this. The earth is corrupt, that's repeated, it's violent, everything is twisted. And then Noah is described in a totally different way. He's called righteous, blameless in his generation. He walked with God. That sounds comparative to me. Not perfect, just not like everybody else. While everything around him is bending away from God, he isn't. And walked with God doesn't sound like literal walking. It sounds like alignment. Like his life was pointed the same direction as God's will. That's relational to me. Not just avoiding corruption, but actually staying near and having a relationship with God. What matters is that the text establishes that before the command ever comes. So when God tells him to build the ark, and the passage ends by saying Noah did everything exactly as commanded, that doesn't feel surprising. It feels consistent. There's something about that obedience that reminds me of creation. When God spoke, things happened. He said it, and it was. Here, when God speaks, something happens again, but this time it's a man responding, and that feels heavier because man has will. Noah didn't have to say yes. He could have resisted. He could have argued. The text doesn't show any of that. It just shows obedience. And that to me suggests trust. The passage doesn't explain his thoughts, but obedience like that usually means confidence in the one giving the instruction. The destruction part doesn't bother me, not because Noah is spared, just because I assume God knows what he's doing. If he says all flesh has corrupted its way, and he says the end has come before him, I take that as settled. The scale of it makes it feel decisive. And then God says he will establish a covenant with Noah. I hear that almost like God drawing a line and saying, you're not part of this. It sounds like preservation. Not giving up on mankind entirely, but preserving something through one family. So the whole thing feels ordered to me. Corruption is named, judgment is declared, preservation is specified, Noah responds, and he just does what he's told. That completes the reading of Genesis 6, 9 through 22, and this is Seeking the Word.